Hey, and welcome to the Shave Tank. And today's video is actually a request. People have asked me to do another beginner video on the full program of the shave. And since my other newbie videos are fairly dated, they asked what I do different now and what they should do and what I recommend with everything that I have under my belt. So there you have it. I'll give it a go. Another beginner shave video, and I'll call this the Jedi Shave. So what should the Padawan do when we start out? First, before you shave, have a nice hot shower, because that's always something that opens your pores. It's hot, it's nice, and prepares your face. If you want, you can wash your face with a very mild soap in the shower, or use a pre-shave soap in the shower, but that's only if you really want to do it. But preparation is the thing that will get you going. Preparation, preparation, preparation. Next thing, take a towel and fold it like this 2 times, like it's around that size compared to my face. Drench it in hot water. I have very hot tap water, so I do that most of the time. Or if you don't have that hot water, drench it in water and put it in a microwave for 10 seconds and it will be very hot. Then when you put it out, get it out. I'm demonstrating this with a dry towel because I can't lie down now, but lie down on your bed or couch or whatever and take the towel, rub it under your chin like this so that it really grabs your pores. And then wrap it over your face like this. Of course, when it's wet, push down a little bit so you can get breathing room, and keep it on for about 2 minutes. That's actually most of the time plenty. So that's that. Hot towel, really nice. Put it on for 2 minutes. Now, there are some people that say put on some pre-shave before the hot towel, like Proram, which is okay. Some people like it before the hot towel. I prefer it after the hot towel. So I'll take this and take a nice chunk like this. I really like the Proram pre-shave. It's one of the best. This one is the sensitive. So if you have sensitive skin, you can use that, but you can also use the normal one. Put it on your hands and rub it in to your beard. I have 2 days growth, so you can really see what I'm doing. I waited just for you, so you actually see that there is really a lot of beard, and it will be smooth, alright. So you put that in and clean your hands, don't forget that. Not because it's bad for your hands, but because it just gives you a better grip if it's not oily, and this is a little bit oily on your brush and razor. When you've done that, you have the pre-shave in. Wait a minute or so, or as I said, if you're a fan of applying the pre-shave first and then the hot towel, now apply the hot towel. Both ways work perfectly nice, so there is no wrong here. Now, while this soaks in, we can already build the lather, and I recommend you get a soap that is easy to lather for the beginner. Now I've taken a shaving mug like this one, or you can also take like the fine mark, and I recommend a mark for the beginner. I'm not going into detail why I recommend a mark for the beginner. There are plenty of videos of mine why I do it. Now, I've put very hot water in there, so the whole mug is warm. Of course, you can also use a scuttle to warm it up, but I'm ditching the hot water now. So this is ready for me to go into. Now, take a good soap, an easy to lather soap if you're a beginner. For example, Cella, any razor rock soap, Saponificio Varesino, Van Ulay, Edwin Jagger. These are the soaps that I recommend for beginners. And of course Phoenix, which I'm going to use today, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, and I'm using the Club Guy because it's a classic barbershop scent, and this is really picked up, and I love the classic barbershop scented soaps. I'm gonna put the lid away here. So we have this is a fairly big container, which is also nice for beginners because you have a lot of room to lather it up. And now the Jedi Padawan takes his lightsaber brush. So this is a genuine lightsaber brush with 24mm Uber Soft 2 knot, really nice, really like that. So we're gonna wet the brush, just dip it in water. It's a synthetic brush. I recommend get a synthetic brush because they are much easier to use. Dip it in there. Now it's very wet. We shake it out a little bit, 1, 2, 3. It's a little drier now, looks like this. And we go in there and start to stir it up. It might drip a little bit, so keep it over the sink and just load it up. You can really press down on the brush a little bit. If something wants to drop off, just get it and put it in the mug and load it up. How long should you load it? Well, if it's a good loading soap like this one, usually even like 10 to 15 seconds give you enough load. But if you overload it a little bit, I mean, it's soap, it's fairly cheap to get, and so just load a little bit longer. I'm overloading here by a lot, and yeah, that's good. Put that in the mug, and we have a lot of things falling off here, which we just clean off. Put in the mug also, and we're good. We can clean that off with a towel. Just put it in the towel. It's only foam, so it will dry up and dissipate by itself in the whole thing. You don't need to wash it off or something. And if there is still some left on it, keep it, put it down, and I'll leave it just like that, open for 24 hours so it dries out. And that's that. Now I take the mug and the brush, push everything down there and start to work it in both directions. If things go up, push them down again, and it's already getting very creamy. Now you can see, even though the things dripped off, this whole thing is still too dry. And how do you see it? If you stir it in this direction, and it will make patterns like small waves on the ground, then it's too dry. So add a little bit of water. You can either tip the head of the brush in, which is a little bit trickier for the beginner. What you can do is just dip your fingers in like this. They will drip water, drip something in there. A few drops will suffice. Get the brush and go with that. Do not add too much water, just add water over time and work it a little bit. Just like that, stir it up. and it's getting creamier already, but we still have a little bit of that pattern, so I'm going to tip this in a little bit. And it's getting creamier. Very nice. Now the Phoenix soap can take a little water, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. Yes, that looks great. Ah, and the smell. This is actually really nice and relaxing. You can take your time. If the pre-shave dries on a little longer, it's no problem. So take your time, just a little bit more. Yes, there we go. And you see the foam explodes in there, and we have now really a lot of foam also creeping out here a little bit. So I push that back in, so here. And that looks nice. And if you've done it right, you have a really nice cream here. A lot of cream on the brush, hopefully. So let me clean that up a little bit. If you spill a little bit over the cup, happens to me all the time. And what you're looking for is that it has very, very creamy consistency, like this. So it's still a little sticky, but it has this sheen to it, like it's a little wet. And it's not like totally liquid, so it's not dropping off if you shake it a little bit. With that, we're good to go. So wetting our face above the pre-shave. Now if you have a little bit spots that are getting white, it's just because there's still pre-shave on it, which is good. Really make it nice and wet. So, and then we go with the brush and really cream this in. Oops. Really did overload a little bit, but it's no problem. So there we go. Can clean that off a little bit. We got too much on there. So we have a nice, thick, leathery face here. And now we go for the razor. Of course, lightsaber razor today. It's a Jedi Shave. And this is actually a razor rock head, but you can take, like I recommend for beginners, Edwin Jagger, Mühle R89, Merkur 23C, Razor Rock Mission, all great razors for beginners. And I put an Astra green blade in there. They look like this. Excellent beginner blade. Now what we're going to do is shave first pass with the grain. So my beard grows from up to down, and here it actually grows sideways, but I'm going to go up and down anyways, just for convenience. Now important is, you don't need any pressure. So I'm putting the razor on and just let it glide down. I'm not pushing in that direction, I'm only pulling it down. Turn it around. You don't need to be totally clean on the first pass. Second side. No pressure at all. Clean it off in the sink or rinse it off. So this is very easy. Just pull it down. The weight of the head should be enough to push the blade on your skin. Now if you go to the more delicate parts, which is your chin and your upper lip, it's even more important to not use pressure and to go round like this. You can of course use not so large strokes and use shorter strokes like this. Which is perfectly fine and gives you more control. On the upper lip I like to blow a little bit of air in there because it's like stretches the skin. Makes this easier to follow. So, and we are finished with pass 1. Now some people just put water on again and lather up again. I like to clean it up a little bit so I see where I'm at, and I'm actually quite okay with the first pass. Put water on the hand, wet the face again. It should be still a little bit slippery from the residue of the soap. So if you have a good soap, like this one, it still will feel a little bit slippery. Now, second run. And as you will see, the soap that you paint on will still coat very well if it's a good soap, like this. But the coat won't be as thick as the previous one. Why? Because of course there is less beard on there now for the soap to stick on, so it has to stick on your skin. And with the second pass I recommend to go cross grain. So, like my beard goes in that direction, cross grain is this direction. Again, no pressure, just go like this. Again, if you're not sure, you can use shorter strokes. Again, cross grain is this way on my neck, so you can do it like this if you're not sure, or go full stroke. Also, it doesn't matter if you do your neck first or your cheek first. Do it however you're comfortable with. I just like to do it in that order. And then again, switching to cross grain on the chin. Now if you have a section on your chin that you are not totally comfortable with going cross grain, you can of course blow some air in there. But I have a small dimple here, so I go around it like that. And then finish the cross grain. And on the upper lip, same thing. So just be gentle there, no pressure, especially when you go like around this part, because there you always have a small wave to go over, face wave, so that's always a little tricky. Now if this is your first time or second time, you can leave it at that. Get comfortable, it's clean enough. But if you're going to get totally smooth, we do a third pass against the grain. And you should take some time so that your skin gets ready for this experience. Because some people will get some irritation just because they have shaved wrong their whole life. Their skin isn't used to a razor touching the skin, and that's bad. So we use the same leather, same brush again. Now if you think, it's not the case here, but if you think it's gotten a little dry, you can just take a little water again on your fingers, dribble some water on there and go with that. But if a good soap like this Phoenix, it will actually hold the moisture pretty well, and you don't need that. As you see, it's very creamy still. No problem here. Even though my face is relatively sleek, there is still enough soap sticking to the face, which is the most important thing. And the most important advantage to canned stuff, because this will actually stick and cream your beard, and not like with the canned stuff where between your beard and the foam you see there will actually be only air and nothing to protect you. So now we are going against the grain, which, remember, on my neck is this way. So I'm going on my neck first this time, just to show you that order is actually irrelevant. I'm doing short strokes to give me more control against the grain. You can tighten your mouth like this to give this a little bit more stretch. And again, especially against the grain, no pressure, please. And you won't cut yourself. Now my skin here goes up and down, so against the grain is in the up direction. Again, no pressure. I'm just pulling this up on the skin. And here. And if you want to have a little bit more control on the neck, you take your hand and push down like this direction. To stretch your skin, grab up. Very easy. Now on your upper lip, just again, I'm doing this with the hole, blowing some air in. And there we are. Perfectly fine. And that's the finish of the shave. Now, some gurgling incoming because we are having water in my sink and leaving it out. So we clean this up thoroughly. And now comes the next thing. I have very cold, because I'm living in Austria, very cold Austrian mountain water running through my plumbing. So this water gets really cold if I leave it running a little bit. Yes, this is not very cold water. So I take my hands, put them in the water for a little bit and put that on. Very nice. Closes the pores. Now if you don't have it, take a towel like you did with the hot towel, fold it again like I showed you, like this and this, soak it in water, drench it out really nicely, and put it in the fridge. Not in the freezer, just in the fridge. Freezer is too cold. Now, if you have a wet face, don't rub it, just do it like this. No rubbing, and you're good to go. So, if you're totally new to the whole thing, I recommend going with an aftershave palm next. So I'm gonna use an aftershave palm, and if you are not that new, you of course can use first a splash, which I'm actually going to show you too. But really want to emphasize, use a very good splash that also has, when you first use splashes, that has some protection abilities to it, like Mirsol. Mirsol is protection-wise the best splash you can get. Mirsol. This is the plastic, my absolute favorite, and the Antesol, my second favorite. These are absolutely fantastic splashes. So if you want to give it a real clean shave, use the splash like that. And the Mirsol already will give you a lot of protection. But some people, especially when they start out, so I would be finished now because I'm used to shaving like this. Some people get a little dry skin at the first few times around, so maybe use something like this Prorazo, or we have Cat from L'Occitane, or excellent palm is the Edwin Jagger aftershave palm, like this one, really nice. Or what I also like is the aftershave milk balm from Mickey Lee's Soapworks. You have to shake it a little bit beforehand, really nice stuff. Or of course the Kalani, which I'm going to use now. Kalani, very important. All natural palms, like they don't hold the mixture for a very long time because they don't have added mixing, emulsifying agents in them. So shake it very good before you use it, especially if you have it on a shelf for some time, and then back it out and use it. You don't need to use a whole lot of it, so one pump like this will most likely suffice. Put it in your hands and rub it in nicely. And this will give moisture back to your skin. Just clean my hands. And you're well protected for any harsh environment out there. Now, cleaning. So this is a long video, I know, but cleaning. First, I'm gonna clean the Jedi brush. Now, leave the water running, and you just put it on the water and rinse it off really nicely. If it has a lot of water in it, you can take it and like squeeze down on it very gently, not really press it hard, just gently with 2 fingers, and then rinse it off again. So give it a really good rinse. From all directions, rotate it in your hand. You don't want to pick up the camera. So really rinse it for quite some time. so that you make sure that there's no residue left in there. And when you're done, of course, the brush will be wet. Shake it off. Really nicely shake it off. No pressing, no thing. Just shake it off. I'm not touching the head. Just shake it off. Now some people leave it at that. If you really want to, are concerned about the tips, or especially if you badger or silver tip brush, take a towel and do it like this. Very gently, not push her down on it. Just that it slightly touches the surface of the towel. And that's it. It's still a little wet. So what I'm doing, I'm taking a stand like this one, which is my Alliance stand. Put it in there like this, upside down, and leave it hanging there. If you only have one stand and multiple brushes, I recommend leaving it there at least for 24 hours so it can really dry off. Next, the razor. Look at the razor and see if there is really something clogged in there, and if it's really tightly clogged. If you don't think there is too much in there, you can just rinse it under the water. Don't use a very hot water, just mildly warm water. Tap water is absolutely fine. Rinse it off nicely and clean it. Don't clean the blade with the towel, just up here. I'm brushing it and down there. And then you're good. If it's really dirty in there, of course, screw off the head like this. Holding so, same procedure like you would change the blade. Now I'm taking off the head here. So, blade is still in there, and you can see the blade is already quite clean, so there's no problem there. But you can take out the blade, put it on your hand, take off the blade and look if there's something in there. That's okay, actually quite fine. I'm gonna put the blade aside for a second. You can of course rub this off with the towel. Take the blade again, make sure you only grab it by the sides, put it on here, like this. I always hold it in my hand like this. Take the bottom half of the razor, again you can clean it with the towel, like I'm doing here on the side. When it's clean, take it, put it on like this. Take the handle and screw it on, so we don't touch the blade and don't hurt ourselves. Screw it on just mildly, no reason to push down on it. And that's good, and we can put it in the razor holder or just put it on the side. And you're good. Of course, last point, clean the mug. That you can just rinse off nicely again. If you're a good soap, it will stick to your face but not to the mug. Clean it off, dry that off with the towel a little bit, and we're good to go for the next time. And that's the complete shave. So we are smooth here, everything looks nice, and we are good to go for another day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you could take something for your shaves. If you do something differently, leave it in the comments. I hope this was very helpful for all the beginners out there. And yeah, hope you enjoyed all of this. Thanks for watching. That's all. High five. And I'll see you next time.